This story out of Politico. The headline is Trump officials delayed farm trade report over deficit forecast. The lead is Trump administration officials delayed and redacted a government forecast because it predicts an increase in the nation's trade deficit in farm goods later this year. The numbers run counter to President Trump's messaging that his economic policies, including tariffs, will reduce U.S. trade imbalances. So the politically inconvenient data prompted administration officials to block publication of the written analysis normally attached to the report because they disliked what it said about the deficit. That doesn't seem to be helpful.
It's far worse than not helpful. To knowingly, willfully withhold pertinent information in the middle of a major legitimate public policy discussion is long past unhelpful. That is just absolutely not acceptable. We need to be able to use the facts that we have. We need to take a look at what we're doing. Let's take a look at what's working. Let's take a look at what's not working. Let's take a look at what our options are. We have not been well served in the past by the negotiation of side agreements. It seems that what Trump is doing is threatening across the board tariffs in order to facilitate side negotiations with all the different countries kind of one at a time to force them to the table. We're asking, what's the plan? And what are we going to do? And what are we going to do different than what we've done before that did not work? And so as a trade advisor, I was constantly in this awkward position where you're getting top security clearance rated information. You're trying to parse through it, figure out, what does this mean? Who is it that we're trying to do business with? Who are we trying to do a trade agreement with? What are, their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are they trying to sell us? What are we trying to sell them? How does this work out? Do we have a lot of competing interests? Where are we relative to their ability to pay for our products? At the end of the day, I used to be in the bull business, and you can have the best breeding program, you can have the best nutrition program, you can have the best everything else, but until somebody actually buys a bull from you, you are not really in the bull business. You're just running a really expensive commercial cattle operation. Who's going to be the buyer? Do they have the ability to pay for it? How do we work that out if they don't? Because if they don't have the economic wherewithal to be able to buy our products, then market access becomes a moot point. We are a complicated nation. We have a lot of resources, and the world is complicated. And we need to be able to figure out how we do trade agreements that work to the mutual advantage of all parties. If the starting premise is that we're out to get somebody and we're out to take advantage of somebody, then that's not a good starting place. And it should also not be our place to just be a patsy. We have been our own worst enemy on a lot of the trade agreements we did. And so let's not be in a big hurry to cut a deal that's ill-considered, properly thought through, and is not in the strategic economic interest of not only ourselves, but our partners.